Welcome to the Rundown Podcast. My name is Abe Hicks, joined by my main man, Dylan Kearns. We are back better than ever. The season is right around the corner. Opening day is right around the corner. We are in the midst of spring training right now, but first off, before we get into the topics today, Dylan, how are you doing?
Great, man. This is the time. Prospects, they break camp. This is where position battles are happening. Those teams that have, too many veterans end up getting released or DFA'd. Someone sweeps up and gets moved. So this is the time of year where you can really make a roster or put yourself in a situation where you'll be sitting on the couch to start the year. So definitely a lot of moving parts in free agency and spring training. So definitely excited to see where things go. But I love this time of year. I just wish it'd get over with real quick so we can get out and play real games.
No, for sure. And the topics we have for you guys today, we're talking about some prospects in camp right now that are looking to make the big league club on opening day or potentially close to opening day. We're going to talk about some big key name free agents that are very well known, still don't have a home yet, and we're going to finish this podcast with a team that had success in the postseason last year, but they may not find the same success this year. But first off, starting off, Dylan, who are some prospects for you that you are looking at to make an impact on a big league club on opening day?
I'm going to start with three of them, and one of them really needs to make the team. I look at Drake Baldwin with the Atlanta Braves. A left-handed hitting catcher, one of their top picks, is a top prospect in their organization. And they lost Sean Murphy, right? And usually you'd say, oh, gosh, you got Travis d'Arnaud now. Not anymore. They decided to let d'Arnaud walk. Now they're sort of in a predicament. And they do have some veterans there that could get them by with what they have. With Chadwick Tromp, Kurt Casale, and Sandy Leon, they all have some service time in the big, especially Casale and Leon. But I think you should take a chance with Baldwin. It paid off for him not too long ago when they had an injury to a catcher, and they decided to go with William Contreras. And he played really well when he got an opportunity to catch. I don't think it hurts a pitching staff that much when you have a young kid like that. I mean, heck, he's catching him now in spring training. I think the injury happened too early, early enough in spring, where you can get a Drake Baldwin some more at-bats and catch starters, some big league starters, a Chris Sale. Someone like that can really get him going. I think this is a no-brainer for someone that should make the club. He kind of lucked into a situation with an injury there that took place with Sean Murphy. But, hey, I don't think Chadwick Tromp is stealing anyone's time behind the dish. So if Baldwin plays well, he could stay on the roster for a little bit. That's one name I really think should make the club.
That was really good. The first guy that I think of for me, Christian Moore. This guy played a huge role in the Tennessee National Championship team last year, but he is also looking to make a huge impact on the Los Angeles Angels ball club that will need some infield depth. Reports is that he's thriving in spring training right now and is competing for the second base position. Anthony Rendon is hurt. Yohan Moncada has a long injury history. Luis Rengifo is a really good player. He had a really good year last year. So is Zach Neto. But behind that, you're looking at Scott Kingery, Kevin Newman. You want to add some pop in that infield, you can plug Christian Moore in there, and I think he would do really well. Right after getting drafted number 8 overall last year, he came in the Double-A and dominated, batting .322, 5 home runs with a .911 OPS. And his manager, Ron Washington, had very encouraging words for Christian Moore. He called him, quote, a super athlete. If it was basketball or football, it would be the same. He is a super athlete. I am very impressed. Those are Ron Washington words, one of the most respected managers in baseball history. So if you can get kind words from that man, I think there is validity to his talent translating into production for the Angels.
And one thing about Ron Washington, if you can't play defense, he don't want you. He's one of the greatest infield instructors to ever play. He turned Orlando Arcia into a Gold Glover. I mean, just look at that Braves infield during his time there. Austin Riley was also a bad defender when he came up. But, I like that take. I have another one for you. I think one of them has an opportunity here. And, I mean, both are on teams that are probably going to lose 100 games this year, no doubt about it. I look in the Rockies outfield, and I look at a left-handed hitter, Yanquiel Fernandez, a left-handed bat, 22, 23, I think he is, hitting .316 in spring right now. I don't think anyone in that Rockies outfield, outside of Brent Doyle, really excites me. You know, you had Nolan Jones flash 2 years ago. Chris Bryant can't stay on the field. It looks like he's going to DH sort of first base more than anything going on there. This is an opportunity for a kid to just break the team. I mean, these clubs now, especially, you know, the bottom of the barrel, let them grow at the big league level. I mean, you're going to come up, you're going to play him in with the isotopes for a little bit before coming up? That doesn't make sense. I think Fernandez can grow at the big league level. They have enough talent there. I mean, the Rockies, this is what makes them a little bit intriguing. They have some young talent offensively. So I think their hitters are going to get a lot better. Michael Toglia hit 20-plus bombs last year. Ezekiel Tovar has been looked pretty good last year. Brenton Doyle finally showed some offense to his great defense he plays in center. And then they got the 2 young catchers with Drew Romo being one of them. So I think this is a team that, not that they're going to surprise anybody, but you're going to look up and be like, hey, Coors Field, they can put up some numbers. And Yankel Fernandez is one of those outfielders that I think could get an opportunity, break camp, and do really well with them.
No, that's a really good there. I'm going to go to another team that may be really bad this year, but they have a lot of young talent. And if this guy can stay healthy, he can be an all-star caliber player this year. And that is Robert Hassel III. He's turning heads right now at spring training, batting .370 with 5 ribbies. He's spraying the ball all around the field. He has really good speed. If he keeps this up, he can find himself on a Nationals opening day roster, and he will be adding to a very deep group of young outfielders there in D.C., but I think he can be the best player out of that group if he stays healthy. This is a guy that the Nats got from the Padres in the Juan Soto trade, remember? And just think about if the Nats get breakout seasons from C.J. Abrams and Robert Hassel this year. Also can't forget Dylan Cruz, but I think National fans will have quite a bit to cheer about this year.
I'm gonna piggyback off that. I don't think I've been this excited for a young outfield since when the Pirates trio came up. I mean, obviously McCutchen was there before, but it was Marte, McCutchen, Polanco. Polanco obviously didn't pan out, but this right here, you got Dylan Cruz, you got James Wood, and you got Robert Hassel. And James Wood, he's no slouch either. That guy, I think he's the best of them all. I think he can hit the heck out of the baseball. Very talented player. They have some pieces, and Luis Garcia is a solid second baseman too, one of the most underrated players in baseball. You put him together, man, I'm telling you, they could, not that they're going to make too much noise, but I wouldn't be shocked if you're sitting there and they kind of make a Detroit run this year.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all.
That division's still a tough division, but I don't hate that at all. And I know we said we'd probably just do 2, but I also want to throw a name out there, Colson Montgomery of the White Sox. I think he's got a good shot. I mean, me and you could start at second base right now for the White Sox, let alone shortstop. I think that's Colson Montgomery's spot. He's banged up a little bit right now. Didn't hit too well in the minors last year, .216. But if the kid's going to struggle, just play him in the bigs. Again, that goes back to my Rockies theory. I mean, obviously you don't want to kill his confidence, but how much confidence are you going to have when you're sitting in the minors looking up at the White Sox losing 120 games? So, I mean, that alone will psychologically get to you. So trust your first-round pick, play the guy, and see how he does.
I agree with that. Now, all right, transitioning to a lot of well-known players that still don't have a home. It's crazy to think about. We have a lot of well-known free agents with MLB experience that have yet to find roster spots. I'm talking very familiar names. Whit Merrifield, David Peralta, Jordan Lyles, Alex Wood, Joe Kelly, Anthony Rizzo, Robbie Grossman, Yan Gomes, Adam Duvall, Daniel Bart. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But Dylan, why is this happening? What is going on?
You know, I saw Tommy Pham mention this the other day. When he broke into the league, the average service time was about 5.5 years. It's down to just under 3 right now. That's not good. That's alarming for baseball, and this is why there's probably going to be a lockout after 26. It's almost like with no salary cap, these owners are competent. Look, the one team didn't sign a free agent this offseason, the St. Louis Cardinals. So that's alarming for baseball. And you look at some of these things. It's not just happening this year. Some players are forced to retire because of this crap. You know, Alex Reyes was an all-star in 2021. That was the last year he pitched. He had a sub-4 ERA. He was an all-star. He was one of their top prospects in St. Louis. He was never heard of again because he was a free agent, little arm injury, never had a chance after that. Brandon Belt, I mean, he put up some solid numbers in his 1 year in Toronto. You're thinking that was his 1 year deal. He's going to get, no, never heard of again. Done. Adam Lind, like about a decade ago, opportunity. He hit over 300, didn't get an opportunity again. Anthony Rizzo's begging to play baseball right now. I know he had a head problem. You're telling me the Pittsburgh Pirates couldn't use a veteran in the locker room like Anthony Rizzo? But Ben Cherington and company, not necessarily him. He's a great GM. I'm going to take that back. Their owner won't spend any money. So you're sitting here twiddling your thumbs with the same situation many teams are facing, and these players are not getting signed because these owners aren't spending money. And it's ruining careers. I don't even know why you'd want to get into it right now if you're an MLB player. 26, there's going to be a lockout. That's probably when they're going to bring in free agency or, salary cap to free agency. And that will help some of this. But at the end of the day, this is a glaring problem right now where talented veterans aren't on rosters. It took Jose Iglesias just to get a minor league deal the other day. I mean, the guy hit over 330 last year, played good defense, and was he was a heartbeat for that Mets team.
It's crazy.
I do not understand it.
Crazy. That's some of your best work, Dylan, and I agree with everything you said there. I'm going to try and take a little bit of different perspective here. I think teams are saying, hey, we can find younger, more athletic production that is cheaper. I also think that the young talent pool in MLB is probably the best we've seen in a long time. The past 5 years, we've seen young players come up and make a huge impact day one for teams. They're entering the league younger, but better than what we've seen before. So teams are more inclined to give those guys a shot opposed to an aging veteran, right? I saw this and I was perplexed. There was 262 free agents this past season with MLB experience. 81 of those guys signed to minor league deals, and 51 guys remain unsigned. I mean, here's some guys that have signed minor league deal contracts. Mike Clevenger, Andrew Chafin, Mark Hanna, Manuel Margot. I mean, it's really sad to see, man. But I think this is an example just like we see in other sports. That career can end just like that. And I think you are alluding to something huge. You are pinpointing it, and I think you are seeing it before everybody else does. A lockout is coming. You can see it, and I hope a lot of the fans can see it too. What's been happening, it's crazy to see.
I love baseball more than the next guy. Like, I eat, sleep, breathe baseball. I'm worried. I'm focusing on it 24/7. Like, every single day I wake up and look at news and follow the game. I just love it. But I would be 100% fine if they did not play baseball in 2026.
Until they get this figured out.
I mean, it's true because I feel for the guys that don't get opportunities anymore.
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo was the lifeblood of the Cubs. He was a great veteran for the Yankees, and he doesn't get a chance, man. Like it honestly makes me sad.
Think about 15 years ago, if a young up and coming team needed a veteran, Anthony Rizzo wouldn't last 5 minutes in free agency. That type of player, it's insane to see. I can't believe what's going on here. Can't believe it. All right, moving on to our final topic. I mentioned earlier, we're talking about a team that had success last year, a lot of success. But now, will they have that same success this year? The Cleveland Guardians. And I'm going to kick this off, Dylan. The Cleveland Guardians offense has been an issue for the past few seasons, right? Ranking near the bottom of MLB in home runs and slugging percentage. They relied on Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor for that last year. But one of those guys is gone this year. Josh Naylor is no longer with the team. And they didn't really make major offensive upgrades in free agency, meaning you're asking young bats like Bo Naylor, Ryan Rocchio to take a huge step forward. I think that's a huge risk. Steven Kwan isn't going to give you huge power numbers. Andres Jimenez regressed last year. They rely on small ball, which also means pitching has to carry this ball club. Shane Bieber's coming off injury. Can Tristan McKenzie stay healthy? You're asking young arms like Tanner Bibby, Gavin Williams, Logan Allen to step up again like they did last year. And with Detroit and Kansas City looming right behind them or in front of them, the AL Central is going to be a dogfight this year. I just don't see Cleveland repeating that success.
Alarms are sounding now. What are the Guardians doing, man? Like, you truly have to sit back and think, oh, let's trade our only offensive piece we have and replace him with a switch hitter that's been great for the city of Cleveland and Carlos Santana. You got to sit back and really think about that. There are players out there that don't have a job, but Carlos Santana always gets one. And his bat's declining year after year. Switch hitting first baseman, DH. They just think they can replace him. You needed him and Naylor. That's what you needed. You needed him and Naylor if you wanted to compete. This team is trying their... credit to them. They're trying to play their young guys. But you were in the ALDS last year, dummies. Like, you took a team... You traded a bullpen piece in Eli Morgan. You're filling your rotation. You get Luis Ortiz. You trade a great defensive second baseman in Andres Jimenez. Jose Tena sucks at baseball. And then you look at the shortstop, Rocchio. Cool, he had a good postseason. He hit over, under 220 last year? This team's a mess, man. This team is a mess. They're trusting Kyle Manzardo, which, you got to at this point. He was a big piece of a trade that they made with the Rays to send Savali out. But this rotation sucks too, like you said. Tristan McKenzie was horrible. He spent most of the year in Columbus last year. And I know he had a couple big starts in the postseason in 2022, or 21 rather, or whatever year it was. He had a couple big starts that year. But he struggled. He's battled with injuries. And I don't know why, but they're trusting this Luis Ortiz from the Pirates. I haven't been blown away by him at all. And they got him slotted right in there in that rotation. Tanner Bybee, I think, is great. Gavin Williams has good upside. But then you're trusting McKenzie. You're trusting Ben Lively, who's kind of bounced around a little bit with Cincinnati. And, he's been around a little bit. This team, and David Fry, Tommy John, I don't know how much he's going to play this year, like DH. It's just ugly, man. It's not just that they're trying to just go with the youth movement. This is an opportunity in a very tight division. The AL Central is packed. It's no longer a cakewalk. It's no longer, the AL Central. They sent 3 teams to the playoffs last year. Royals are getting good. Tigers are getting good. I second your thought there.
Can't forget the Twins. Can't forget
the
Twins.
Yeah, the Twins are very competitive. I'm telling you, the Guardians are 4th place finishers right now in my eyes.
Wow. Well, that is a preview to our next show, which we will be giving our predictions. And you can pencil one in. 4th place in the AL Central will be the Cleveland Guardians, according to Dylan Kearns. But we appreciate everybody tuning in. The channel's growing. We appreciate all the support. Go give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and obviously subscribe to YouTube if you're currently watching. We're going to be back with baseball content all year long, so you don't want to miss out. We appreciate all the support. Until next time.